God,
Is it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
This is REC.
Yeah, we're gonna cut that out.
yeah,
a little bit.
yeah.
all right, call meeting to order, start
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, any changes to the agenda?
Yeah, I'll add an RSU school board meeting update.
That's it? All right, as amended,
So move as amended.
Second.
Elma, seconded by Bill, all those in favor? I'm gonna skip number 3.
So how do you know that one of us may want to act in?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, does anybody have anything to say?
Yeah, yeah.
The minutes, October, oh, we got two sets.
I make a motion, we approve the October 28th and November 7th meeting as written.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Leave.
All right, so I got to the meeting late, the RSU 21 now starts at 6 o'clock. And I was not able to get there until close to 7 o'clock. But I got to the point where they started talking about the IB framework. And, you know, if you recall a while back, there was discussion on maybe getting rid of the IB program. So they had a presentation, and it appears that, you know, they made a motion to move away from the IB framework. So there was a lot of discussion on that, and you know, there was discussion on costs and you know, how they need to move forward. But the general consensus is just about every teacher really doesn't care for how that is. So, you know, they're teaching the right stuff today. It's just all of the behind the scenes that need to be done for the IB that they just, you know, and they're not getting support from them. So they moved away from that. They made a motion to move away from it, and it passed. Let's see, there was a pretty heated discussion on superintendent agreements. So, a superintendent agreement is an agreement among superintendents for, you know, let's say a child in Arundel, that their family is moving to another town. The superintendents kind of get together and they say, you know, hey, we want to keep this kid in Arundel, or the other way come around. So superintendents get together and they kind of make an agreement, and they either allow it or don't allow it. That's in their bylaws or ordinances or rules and regulations, what have you. There's a big discussion about the superintendent that just left and those agreements, and there's really one board member that was pretty hot about it, and, you know, kind of pushed the issue. She made a motion to discuss those agreements, and that motion failed. Again, those agreements are just specifically, just amongst the superintendents themselves. But there was more to that. There was a discussion about what she was getting paid, and the board just didn't want to get involved with that, and said, you know, that's a whole issue. So that kind of got things heated up a little bit. Let's see, employment application. They updated their employment application, and what they did to that is they added information to that employment application for if the individual had prior resignations. So it had to disclose if they had any prior resignations. So that's been added to that. Let's see, it was a motion made to support the Kennebunk High School Athletic Field Campaign. They're looking to raise, you know, an estimated $2.9 million, and they're hoping to raise that all through donations and sponsorship. Huh?
Heard that figure someplace before.
Yeah, no kidding. So that dollar figure was actually in the motion, and they decided to take it out of the motion just to go ahead and raise. So there was, some discussions on how they were gonna raise it, discussions on that it was very aggressive to raise that amount of money. And then there was a member of the public that said, hey, you know, maybe you guys ought to start looking at maybe going to bond this and, you know, go after the taxpayers. And I, you know, stood up and said, hey, you know, if you guys are gonna do any of this stuff, you better get the select board of Arundel, you better get the Kennebunk and the Kennebunk Court, because, you know, we've got our own things going, and for you guys to throw this in at the last minute really kind of, upset the apple cart here, and just make sure that we're all involved. And you know, we're gonna talk a little bit about, later on about, I guess, a meeting with all the three boards, and maybe stuff like that will come up there, I don't know. I know there was an individual that got up after me and kinda reiterated my comments, and I believe he is a Kennebunk selectman, I don't know who the individual was, but he kinda talked a little bit about that. So, a lot of discussion about that. Let's see, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so the facilities group is looking, at building needs, you know, for their maintenance buildings, and, also the sports complex. And, let's see, school liaisons, Halloween party, that went on over here, I guess, went very well, was very well attended. And, in between all of this, they had an executive session, and we adjourned at 9:45 p.m.
How's our new board member, is he interacting at all?
Yeah, you know, I mean, he's, obviously, you can tell that he's learning and taking it all in. You know, he made some good comments, asked some good questions on a couple of cases, I don't remember the exact specifics, but he seems to be very well engaged, and, you know, he made some comments, and I kinda looked at the rest of the board members to see, and it looked like they were really, you know, paying attention to him, so I think that's good. I think it'll be real good for us, so.
They've been talking for several years about raising money from donations and sponsorships to do that sports complex.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine if they had a committee out there to do that in Kennebunk and Kennebunk Court, that they would have a problem raising 2.9 million. To
Did
do
they
that.
try to do an arts thing and someone donated like $1 million right off the
Yeah.
bat?
Yeah,
Yeah, they did talk about this committee, somewhere as I wrote it here, on amount of members for this committee. And, it was initially 9, and then, they made a motion that the finance chair, which would be Ira, and, or the superintendent would be part of that committee. And so then they revisited the motion and bumped it up to, 11 people max. So they're, you know, hoping to grab a bunch of different people on this committee to try to work those and, you know, go after and raise that money. But it's an aggressive, they wanna do this for, you know, get all this money raised by the end of 2020, so it's pretty, fall of 2020, so that's pretty aggressive to raise that much money, but hopefully they do, you know.
one of their prior board members had already had, people interested in donating quite a bit of money. I mean, he isn't on the board anymore, but I would imagine that there were still people on the board who remember what he did and perhaps could get in touch with him. He still lives in Kennebunk Court, as far as I know.
Yeah. Well, again, hopefully they don't come back and try to
Yeah,
bond money, so.
thanks for the update. We don't have a manager's report. The new business, we got our upcoming special town meeting this Saturday at 10. Meeting here in the gym. Come one, come all.
So there was a discussion on that, I saw some email traffic a little bit between, I think Jack was involved, and I believe Keith was on this, but
Jack Reese or Turcott?
Jack Turcott, on that you know, normally when we have a special town meeting, you have information to hand out, if there's an ordinance, there's an explanation, there's a, and we really have nothing for this. I mean, I know that we've had meetings, we've had quarterly reports, and, you know, and this and that, and I think we've disseminated a whole bunch of information out to the general public, but for the people that come to this meeting, we really don't have anything, and should we put something together, should we ask Keith to put together maybe a couple of slides, Velma recommended just a couple of slides or whatever, or handouts, rather than them just come in here and say, okay, well, I mean, they'll know what it's for, obviously, that's why they're here, but.
Yeah, I think before you call the meeting, a special town meeting to order, you know, I think maybe you ought to thank individually all the members who have been serving for 18 months.
Oh, yeah.
Still have, you know, by name, I think, would be a good idea, and then, why don't we just have Turcot, you know, condensed
We can, yeah,
the presentation that you had, I mean, you can do it in 5 or 10 minutes, can't you? I mean,
yeah.
just tell how long we've been doing it, this, you know, you got, I'm sure, pictures of the proposed structure, around for people to look at.
I mean, we can certainly ask Lita to put together, you know, a big, you know, of the layout, the floor plan, and then, you know, a couple of those, she could probably do that pretty quick. I can reach out to Jack, I'm not sure, you know, if he's on the road or whatever, but I can reach out to Jack. I'll have to do it in the morning tomorrow, 'cause I'm in Connecticut for a day and a half.
What was in the Arrow? That, I read it, what was, yeah, that just came out, had a lot of information.
Yeah.
This one and the one before, both of them had quite a bit of information. Do we have any copies of those, or were they all mailed out?
We could certainly print more off, should we need to, I'm sure. We'll have to save somewhere, so we can certainly print more. I mean, that was a lot of good information.
Yeah, yeah, even that,
Yeah.
because that, both of them, both arrows had quite a bit in them.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Tom, we just
Yeah.
have Jack give a quick, say, hey, Jack, you got 5 minutes,
Yeah.
just give a quick overview, you know, on where we stand, and maybe just list out the dollar figure things or what have you, and boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just before I open the meeting.
yeah,
Yeah, and just,
yeah, that's a good
you know,
idea.
we'll have to schmooze everybody, you know, thank everybody for coming, all that, you know, how he does that.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big smoocher.
I think you'll find the list of people that I thank is probably gonna be 90% of the people in this.
That's right.
I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in listening to some of the folks on the committee, they're bringing folks here,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, there was a couple new faces at the last.
yeah.
Of course, one of them was from out of town, but.
The couple in the front were the people that bought, the house that was just for sale next to the, new town hall, proposed new town hall.
He must be a state trooper or
He's a
something.
state trooper, yeah.
I see the cruiser there all the time.
The house is, yeah, Emerson
Yeah.
has built
Yeah,
or remodeled, it's, you know, it's been sold since, but, they just recently bought it.
Yeah, I told Keith, I said, look, I said, why do we need a security system? The cruise is
Yeah.
sitting right there.
Yeah.
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 okay, I'll reach out to Jack in the morning,
Yeah,
actually, I'll do it tonight.
I'll put that list together. And then attached is the letter for the request for us to attend, November 18th, which will be a week from yesterday, Monday. Looks like a school board meeting, we discussed at our meeting on Wednesday. I'd just like to explain the importance of all you attending. Confusion has developed among community and board members as to what these meetings will involve. So I guess it's more or less just reiterating what you had said earlier. I think they just wanna bring us up to speed, especially where there's been such, some turmoil there. Conduct our business, November, must be 7 o'clock.
Is it
Well,
7 or 6?
So their meeting started at 6 o'clock now, I went online today to see if they had posted the agenda yet, I usually get it from Shelley, I didn't get anything, I went online and there's nothing posted yet, so their meetings now start at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
So I'm not sure if this is still for 6 o'clock or not, so might wanna follow up when Keith gets back if it's 6 o'clock.
Is this a private meeting or a,
This is, I believe it's a regular school.
regular,
board
this
meeting.
falls on a regular school board? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I
they
plan,
meet the opposite Mondays from what we do.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I plan on being there, I don't know if I can be there right at 6 o'clock, but I plan on being there anyways, but.
Yeah.
All right, and just check on the time.
Yeah. We got to approve, what's it, just payables tonight?
Just payables, yeah, no payroll. So move,
Motion by Velma.
approve the payables.
Second.
By Dan, all those in favor?
The biggest thing in there is the RSU.
Yes.
The RSU is the RSU payment.
Anybody got anything else?
Well, I wanna thank the general public for coming.
Yeah.
Certainly appreciate you all.
You hear anything about our signs?
Nothing,
Nothing.
not a word, nothing.
What signs?
All of our Arundel signs?
All our town of Arundel signs
They're
got
gone.
Like literally chopped off and taken away
Cut
like
the
they never
saws off.
existed.
or something like that.
The one by my house,
Yeah.
the one by,
It's my house, actually.
sorry,
Yeah.
the one by Jason's house,
Yeah.
the one on Route 111 heading into Bedford or heading out of Bedford, and there's two others, one by Champagne's Energy.
Yeah,
Went down by VIP.
and then the other one might be
The
like.
one by Champagne's with a thing under it that says the town of Arundel, something about one of the best.
Downies.
Yeah, they all said that.
They all had it.
Oh, they all have
We
that.
chopped them all off right
Yeah.
at the ground level, almost ground level.
Yeah,
Got 'em.
Wow.
yes, they're gone.
They must be with the stop sign that disappeared from the other sign that somebody cut off.
Yeah,
We'll have to put them back on metal posts.
I just think it'll be about 10
Yeah,
grand to
I
get
don't
them
think that
all
would
gone.
stop these people from getting them.
Yeah.
I'm shocked I haven't seen it in the news anywhere.
I know,
Not the paper, because we don't have a paper anymore, but,
and I don't do Facebook, so I don't know if it's been on Facebook.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I have that, yeah.
That's why I said, what signs, I haven't seen it, so I
Certainly
didn't
isn't.
know
I only-
anything.
Yeah, I'm only on Arundel chatter, but I don't know of anything
We ought to
else.
find a way to put that out there, cause people talk a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and Arundel is not much different than Bedford, you can't keep a secret
It's true.
for very long.
I'm shocked there isn't a security camera someplace, a VIP or around there.
Right,
I
that's,
think they were looking at, they were
Yeah.
looking at
yeah,
VIP.
I would tend to think that the sheriff is looking for that, right, looking to
Oh,
see if some
okay,
home,
okay.
that, all, you know.
Mm.
I know on Facebook it showed the tan pickup truck with the plate that did illegal dumping. Problem is that even if you try to enlarge the picture, you can't read, unless they have a way to enlarge it, you can't.
What was that one? Dumping of,
Illegal dumping somewhere, and
Of
I don't
trash
know
and
where
stuff?
it was, yeah, it must have been, illegal dumping
Yeah, I
somewhere
didn't
in
catch
town,
where.
and they got a picture of the pickup truck, and it was one of these little tan Ford Ranger pickup trucks with, which plate, which main plate, the chick, not,
No, the conservation plate, wasn't it?
no,
Blue.
no,
They said it, now I don't remember.
yeah, I don't either, but there was a picture of it on Facebook, and of course the sheriff's looking for whoever owned the pickup truck. Who probably wasn't from Arundel, but I tried moving it and looking to see if you could see anything on the
where did they
license
dump?
plate.
Where was it
I
dumped?
don't know, it didn't say, it just said they were looking for 'em. So how many signs did we lose, 4?
All of them.
Over 4.
Roger estimates $10,000 worth.
Mm,
After you know, the sign, the labor, putting it back in,
Yeah.
just,
Signs are expensive.
yeah.
They are.
Yeah, those Down East, the Down East magazine ones, I think he said were $1,000 a piece.
Mm.
To
it's
help
probably
them.
more than 10, if you think
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it.
I wouldn't
Big
be
signs,
surprised.
Yeah.
and then the little ones underneath, and then the labor, and,
I suggested putting them back up with a trail camera in the woods,
Yeah.
and, cause if you put them right back up right away, whoever it is coming right back.
Coming back, yeah.
Ted Turcott made a good point too about, if we get a well in
Yeah,
on the property.
Yeah, lock it.
We've gotta find some way to make
yeah,
sure
we
we
gotta talk to
can't.
Well, Lynn did mention stuff about, security and stuff there, but we'll definitely have to mention that to him.
Yeah, look what happened to the well of the people that lived down back of us, when apparently when they think whoever did it thought they were getting Roland's well, and they didn't, they got the well of the people down back.
Look at focal point.
They put some industrial chemical down the well and turned the water bright blue.
What they did to the trucks over at focal point, they made a mess over there.
Yeah.
All right, motion to adjourn.
okay.
Motion by Dan,
Second?
seconded by Phil, all's in favor.
Yep.
All right, kill the light.